One. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of J1Q, that podcast that is dedicated to bringing you inspiration, dedication for the culture to help you glow up. You'll understand that in just a second, but the information to help you scale from where you're at to where you want to be. This week, I have something very special for you. I have a guest that's in studio, the first one, so we're going to celebrate for that right there. So, we're going to take just one quick second and you're going to hear about my guests. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. But in this episode, I want you to stick around. If you've ever thought about having a weight loss journey, if you've ever thought about maybe starting your own little small business and then growing it from that point, and then we're going to talk about something called 2 Mile Tuesday. A small business that she introduced and it's growing and I absolutely love it. So make sure you stick around for J1Q. All right. So now we're back, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to introduce my guest. Her name is Shanice. I have to make sure I do it phonetically like that because I want to make sure I say it correctly. But I'm going to let her introduce herself. So, Shanice, will you take a few seconds just to introduce yourself? Let our guests know who you are and why you are here.
Absolutely. What's up, everybody? My name is Shanice Harry. In these streets, I go by Coach Niece. I am the owner of Glow Up Wellness, and Glow Up Wellness is a company that wraps their arms around people and hugs them in tight and tries to bring them into a happier, healthier life through nutrition.
Love that. Love that. And I this is one of the subjects that we were talking about just a second ago. And when you say the word nutrition, I am sure most people kind of shrivel back for a second. But I really think it's that important thing because one, nutrition, especially and I always talk about our culture, but especially in our culture, is not prevalent. It's not something that's man focused hard on. So was it something that you experienced growing up as well, or was it more once you got into your adulthood life?
So I'm weird. I've been trying to lose weight my whole life. I
Okay.
was 9 years old, putting myself on little diets.
What?
Yeah, wild.
Oh man, that's another subject we would touch over. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I dealt with weight issues my entire life. Also mindset issues because I let other people tell me that I was fat, so I believed them, and so that's why at 9 years old I'm like, well, what can I do about it? Oh, I can go on a diet. So me trying to figure this out, watching my mom struggle with her weight as well, trying different things, not necessarily changing her nutrition, but maybe
Right.
taking a pill or maybe drinking this particular shake or smoothie. So I've been around the idea of weight loss my whole life, so
Okay.
that's why I started so young.
Yeah, and so I guess I want so now in that journey also with that starting as a young thing, would you contribute that to even maybe a little bit of other young kids speaking on it, or was it just more so in the family dynamic that you saw it that made you want to focus on that?
It was more so my family dynamic.
Okay.
I had an aunt that was a vegetarian. She would go in and out of vegetarianism. So actually, at 9, I stopped eating meat. So from 9 to the age of 21, I actually was a vegetarian. Yeah.
What? Okay, and then with okay, so these are things, and this is why I love talking to because these are things that I learned in this. Like I'm recently learning there's a difference between vegan, I think I'm saying it right, and vegetarians. Right? Do you know any slight difference? And I know it doesn't have to be medically correct, but just any slight difference in that?
Let me tell you, things change, definitions change. When I was young, a vegan only ate non processed foods, things that came naturally from the earth, fruits, vegetables, nuts, even rice, potatoes, things like that. Nowadays, you got a thing called like vegan pizza, which I don't understand. But yeah, so a vegan is more so a clean eating directly from the earth type of consumer eater, but a vegetarian is one that doesn't want to consume things that comes from animals. So
Gotcha.
no animals or no animal byproducts like milk or eggs or things like that.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha, and that's a great thing out there because I have been wanting because I spoke to someone recently and they were talking about they do vegan cooking and they said, but they have a lot of non-vegan people who still eat their food because it still tastes very similar. And then I remember Burger King came out with this Impossible Burger or something. I still haven't tried it yet, Burger King, but I'm going to give it a shot. So, but this is really great because I hear sometimes people say that they will at a young age they will start that journey because they're feeling like kids or someone have been bullying or teasing them, and so that's a hard thing to swallow there. And ladies and gentlemen, in full disclosure, I tell you one of the funny things that we're talking about this, and when she first came in, it was sat down. She's like, "Do you always drink Mountain Dew this early?" So listen, you guys know I'm transparent. When I'm in the wrong, I'm in the wrong, and yes. But in my defense, it's a small Mountain Dew bottle. So it's not a big 20 ounce or any of those things like that. But hey, it's still the same,
It is
right?
small, and I don't judge people.
Yeah,
I didn't judge you. I just asked, a
yeah, it
question
is
of,
right.
is that typical? Because it's early in the morning.
You're
We're
right,
drinking
and
Mountain Dew.
it is. But you know what's so funny is I am such a dedicated person when I choose to be, right? Because my wife would tell you I was on a Mountain Dew, like probably the only thing I drank. I drank maybe 8 to 10 of the big ones a day. My blood pressure was so high, my sugar was so
Mine
high,
too. Just hearing it.
and and talked to the doc, and the doc was like, "You got to stop it," you know. And then there was a time where and my son, we were in the car, and he's asking me about because he hit me with that too. Dad, you got another Mountain Dew? Because he knows I'm not supposed to be drinking it. And I was like, "Yeah, son, I am." And I told him, I said, "I'm gonna go 30 days without drinking a Mountain Dew
Mm-hmm.
for you, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And I tell this to all my students. I tell this to anyone who's listening because people will say, "Oh, I'm gonna start this on the first. Why you gotta
Or
wait till? Why you
Monday.
gotta wait?
Yeah.
Why we'll start it tomorrow, right?"
Yeah.
Now, some things I do understand people have to prep for. Like when we was trying to learn about veganism and all that, people would tell us that you got to prep your body for a certain amount of days before just shocking it. So those kind of things I understand, right? But I was like, all right, cool. So I'm gonna stop and for 30 days and drink no Mountain Dew.
That is so powerful
You know?
because one thing that in my business, I do mindset coaching as well. And what you just demonstrated was that when your why is bigger than you'll be able to stick to it. So for you, you like Mountain Dew, you're not going to get rid of it. But for your son,
Yeah.
to show him that you can do it, to show him that you know how to do the right thing, and even in your mind and heart, like I'm doing this for my son, that's a lot. It's a lot different when you do it for the kids.
Absolutely, and it's so funny how it can just it my oh, man, the mind is such a powerful thing, right? We we talk so negative to ourselves, but I think it's also because it's almost what's embedded as coming up. We expect it. We hear our families arguing. We hear our families speak a certain way, and we don't speak life into our kids, and so they grow up and do the same thing. When I sit back and think about it, I'm in that and I'm in that realm as well. But I've also learned that because I had trouble kind of blaming my mom for a lot of things and stuff. And as I got older, I started to sit back and say, well, you know what, I forgive her because I got to forgive myself and all this. But I also didn't fault her because I started to learn that she only taught me what she was taught. She taught me the way she grew up eating these type of things and just doing these kind of things, and that's not directly her. So I was like, I want to change the culture, and my child, it needs to start with me,
Mm-hmm.
right? So he'll start eating, but he eats vegetables. He loves them.
Amen.
It's only certain kinds though, but and it's a texture thing for him.
Mm.
I don't think it's a taste. He always talks about the texture,
Okay.
and that goes also into a few things because of his ADHD and some other things. But that's such a powerful thing. The mindset and the mind is like that. So I know I can do these things. But like you said, I love it. I choose not to, and I understand. But I have cut it back.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, I will have maybe two, a
That's a
day.
big deal.
You know,
Congratulations.
yeah, and thank you, and it's not even two a day. I will have maybe four in a week.
Mm-hmm.
So from 30 something in a week. So it's but I'm also working to still cut that back, and then I focus on maybe if I have a small cup, I'll have some water in between.
Okay. I mean, these are real big
yeah,
changes. These are big things.
and as I had to because man, my sugar. I went one time we tested it, and it was like 300 and something. My doc's like, "You're still walking," and it was like, "Whoa!" And so I kind of started making that change and stuff like that. So, but tell us about your weight loss journey. Where now you talked about how from your childhood that was stemming into it, and then you vegan from I think it was 9 up until 20 something. Okay, so now what sparked you into that? Maybe share someone who may be feeling similar, like they want to go on a journey. How did yours start?
So I definitely, like I said before, struggled with my weight my entire life. I only know about a weight struggle because I've also watched my mom struggle with her weight. So you're talking about being in a home with your parents, doing the best that they can do, showing you what they know or understand, and them doing the best that they can. But I watched her take pills, and I watched her drink Me, and she said, well, girl, I can help you do the same thing for other people. And that's what turned it around for me. Once I found the joy, I wasn't miserable. I didn't them 80 pounds was not a miserable 80 pounds to lose.
Right.
I had fun. I started going to like different fit camps, which is how I came up with my own.
Okay.
Just going out, fellowshipping with other people who are like-minded. You
Yeah.
got to get around the people who are trying to do
Yes.
what you're trying to do.
Yes.
Because you stick in the same environment, you'll start, but you'll slowly start to you'll go return back to the old ways of what the environment you are in.
Yeah.
And so I stuck around those people who were exercising regularly, who cared about what they were putting in their body. And once I started learning from them and some of the other coaches that were around, I said, well, I want to, let me coach too. I like this.
Yeah.
So you go to it when your heart tells you what it wants, you should listen. When we
Yeah.
go against our heart, man, that's an unhappy
Let me
life.
tell you, you're. I'm loving this conversation because it is even going into my business world and so forth, right? Because I tell people all the time, if you keep surrounding yourself with those people that tell you, you can't make it, you won't do this, or hey man, why are you going to do that? They're stuck in their situation. You've got to change your environment. That plant needs to grow and stuff. And I started down that path within business because I was always hanging around people who were like, they didn't want more. They just wanted the 9 to 5. And if you're doing that, there's nothing wrong with that. Not everyone can be, at a certain success level. One of my favorite sayings that I still got from Taraji P. Henson once, she said in a show, she said, the streets aren't made for everyone. That's why they have sidewalks.
Okay.
Success is tough. It means the streets are tough. They're going to teach you. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be, you got to expect those long nights, those nights when you don't make as much. So it is really tough, but it's worth it if you really want it, your why. And so I started hanging around business people who only spoke about investments, who only spoke about taking trips. And I'm like, what? Wait, how you doing? What? I want to do that. And I started learning these little small things about, for example, and not turn this into a business thing, but for example, like if you take a trip, get an LLC, write that trip off as a business expense.
Write it all off.
Right. Start. And you can take a trip and invite your family because I think you can get 4 a year. Double check on that, but that's a conference. So your family's coming to the conference, and you're talking business, and you hold a meeting one day. Keep notes, keep your meeting notes so you can turn it in. But anyways, but I started learning all those things. And one of my clothing lines, as y'all probably see, but it's called a broke millionaire. Because
that shirt is fly, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You can pick it up, ladies and gentlemen, in our store on Amazon. But I became and this was major kind of heartfelt thing behind this is in my family, I became the first millionaire in our family. Now,
shout out to
not,
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Not a lot of people know that because I don't live that lifestyle. I don't, but I also have this broke mentality because that's where I came from. I learned you still had to invest money. I'm not frugal and broke like that, but people say, "Oh, you know what I mean?" Yeah, but that don't mean I got millions in the bank. I have millionaire status because of my assets that we've done. We've been in real estate and we started learning and purchasing and doing all that stuff. And then, but a whole nother ball game there. So I'm about to go out and buy no jet. I'm, do that like that. But I became the first one in my family. And then there's a whole other story about that because I did some investments and lost a lot. Oh, but working that way back up there.
Yeah, all of it is a learning
Yeah.
process. Yeah.
But it was great because that touched on it. But when he's like, if I didn't surround myself with those people who wanted me in that environment and spoke about it, and I would be wanting to talk about something else, and they would look at me like, "Why are you talking about that? We're talking about something positive. We're talking about growing, and you talking about what outfit you wear into the club tonight." Like, I'm okay on that. So now you've been around those people. They started you on that journey and coaching. You said it. Oh, touch on coaching is so important. I don't care what anyone says. You can do it. You're just going to go through all those bumps and bruises by yourself. You go and get a coach who has been there, who's going to kind of tell you, hey, maybe not do that on. But yeah, touch on coaching and how important that is.
My goodness. I wouldn't have been able to make it this far without a coach myself. And all a coach is somebody who's committed to sharing their journey with you and the things that they learn, the things that I've learned, and while they're still going through the journey.
Yeah.
A coach didn't make it all the way to the end. If we still on this earth, we didn't make it all the way to
Yeah.
the end. So we're still experiencing life, and all the things that life throws at us. But it's our mentality that we can get through anything.
Yeah.
I can, and showing you the same thing. So becoming a coach, it was interesting because a lot of people feel like, oh, I have to get to a certain point. No, you just have to be committed to always, fighting through the battles to get to the other side, because there is the other side. There's always, a hilltop after the valley, so to speak. So if you fight your way back up, you can pull somebody up, behind you, and you keep going. You go through the valley, you dig yourself out, and then you pull somebody up behind you. That's my coaching mentality.
Yeah. And I love this, man, because it is that one thing is like, there's so many people who we sometimes we think, I don't want someone else to take the I won't say the glory, but I want, if I do it on my own and it makes me
self-made. People
right,
want to be self-made.
like, okay, and that's fine. You can maybe spend maybe if you had a coach or someone to teaching you, maybe it would took you 2 years, for example. But if you did it self-made, it might take you 18. Yeah, you still made
Facts.
but that's 16 years less that you probably didn't have to struggle as much. And I hear that often. I hear people say, I don't need a coach. Okay, but don't be, like I said, keep your mind open. Don't be so close-minded to wanting one.
Coaching bridges the gaps between knowledge and action, because people think the power is in the knowledge, but it's not. We know what to do to build our businesses. We know, for the most part, basic stuff.
Yeah.
We know what to do to lose weight. That knowledge ain't the power. Knowing how to lose weight isn't going to make you lose weight. The action behind it, knowing that I should, maybe not have so many Mountain Dews a day, that's what's going to get you there.
Yeah.
But somebody who is willing to stand by your side and help you with those things, bridging the gap between the knowledge and like, well, maybe let me show you how to do it. Let me tell you how to take the baby steps. Like, you're going to go from 8 Mountain Dews to 0, maybe just reduce it down to 2. Somebody in your ear that can really like rationalize the how of how to get to where you want to go. That's the coach. That's the coaching.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you are not picking up what's being put down right now, you might want to just double check and what's happening. And also, while that's just being said, I also wanted to give a big shout out to one of our sponsors and say thank you very much to Grammarly, who's sponsoring this episode. Grammarly makes sure that you are placing your verbiage correctly the way that you want to and you need to. All right, so now we're back, and now you have your business started. You've got to glow up, and can you touch on that? What is your business doing? How can people, well, let's get to how they can be in touch with you afterwards, but just tell them, what is your business in essence?
Sure. So Glow Up Wellness, like I said, changes people's lives through nutrition. So we
right. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank my guest, Shanice, for coming in and talking to me. This is my first in studio episode. My wife reminded me like she's done them before. So I was like, okay, I'm catching up to her now. This is my first one, and I'm actually feeling the energy so much that I think I'm going to work at doing some of these, more of these in the future. But I want to thank all of my listeners. Don't forget to go check out all of our stores on our website, lionflood.com. That's LIONFLUDD.com. Pick up one of our gears. And for all my veterans, I always tell you next time you see a veteran, remember to tell them to thank you for your sacrifice over your service, right? Veterans, we sacrifice way more than we serve. And most people just say thank you for your service because that's what we were taught, right? It's like the cake in the birthday cake and the food thing. We don't know why we say it, we just say it. But thank a veteran for their sacrifice. Thank you each and every one of you for listening. And also to my other sponsor, Hustle 1977. This episode is being brought to you by them. For those who grind, you deserve to relax. Why not relax with a glass of smooth tasting Hustle brand whiskey? Thank you all, and you enjoy your day. And remember, as I always say, keep living while you are alive.